Good morning. Good morning. I'm gonna do just a small stream today, which is just to explain a little bit how this game works. Some people are new to it. They don't know what it is. They don't know how to play. They don't know how to start. I had some people asking me to kind of like guide them through a little bit on the first few steps on how to do this. So basically, they went through the logging in, the creating the account, all the steps normal to get into the gameplay. So I've created a new account here. It's pretty simple. It's just a secondary account that doesn't have any NFTs or anything. I didn't even create a wallet for it. So it's just to show how to start a new game. So we'll get right on it. So once you get to this page, and you're allowed to choose a server. So you just choose any server that you want. Right now you only have play to earn servers, which are the monthly servers. You get like one objective, which is the 1,000 stars objective, to get just to get anything. So this is a play to earn game, so you're supposed to earn a reward after completing each objective. You can just play it for fun, of course, and that's what we are today showing. But the objective in the end is to make stars, not to make just money or dollars or whatever you want to call them, to manage your town. But okay, let's just jump right in, because there's one thing that is really important, which is location. So we're gonna go into play now. We already made a town here, but we're gonna go out of the town just to check location. So you have the map of the world here, and you can see it's pretty big, has a lot of room, a lot of area, but the most important areas are the coastal areas. So everything that is close to the water, the lakes or rivers, which are inland bodies of water. So any space that is, within the continental area without connecting to the outside ocean, those are freshwater bodies of water. So those have a significant advantage in terms of producing your town or starting your town, because you can water your crops with passive water. So the game offers you several things, and the bodies of water or the rivers are important in this case, and we'll speak about passive properties of all the elements that the game has in more in-depth guide maybe, but this is just a helpful kind of like beginner's guide. So these triangles here that you see, they're just mountains, okay? And those mountains allow you to produce iron, because you're gonna be able to put mines on it. If you don't have a mountain, you cannot produce iron. If you can't produce iron, you can't produce steel, you can't produce blue steel, so you're off of that side of the game. You can produce other things, but with the mountain creates shade, like the water gives you passive water, the mountain gives you passive shade. So that might not be helpful for certain builds, because a certain part of the map is going to be covered. So we chose an area. You see my red thingy here, like this pinpoint locator. This is on the edge of a forest. It's very close to a town. You can see Mogadishu here is, it's the closest town. You can choose around the map other towns. There's another one right here. So if you're staying in a general vicinity of a city, it will cost you less gasoline and time to build, or to sell your items. You can see here these little trucks are coming from the towns that the players have, and they come to town to sell your items. You see trucks coming in and coming out. This person just selling something, and the trucks coming in to sell. So you can sell pretty much everything that you produce, and you will get a profit for it. So the distance from town will tell you how long the truck will take to go to town and sell, and how much gas it will use. The further away, the more gas it will use. Okay, so location is important. I'm not currently in a body of water because, well, they're all taken, because this is the end of the game. If you try to put it here, you cannot, because they're not available, because they're inside mountain areas, so they don't have escape from them to the truck to go sell. Maybe in the future we'll have airplanes and you can sell by airplane. In any case, these areas will open probably, and will be, there's a lot of areas here that are unused because they're within a closed space and you cannot have roads. So maybe in the future this will be different, but for now you have to be on the outer edges or somewhere open so your car can drive to the city. You cannot be inside in a closed space like that. So any place will do, and I chose here just an example. So we'll get into it right now. Just before we start, you have desert areas, you have forest areas, and you have mountain areas. Okay, this doesn't show you exactly mountain, but it's it's close to a mountain, so you need to have a face of your plot of your town should have an edge with a mountain to have access to the mountain. Okay, let's just go in, and this is the town, how it's supposed to look. So there's a few new cards that Gala Games introduced, so it guides you a little bit. So those are very helpful, but right now we'll just address a few of the things. So let's go here to the left to the menu. You have your name, you have your town coins starting soon, you have your current amount of dollars, and you have one worker, how much gas you have, how much wood you have, and how much wheat you have. All the necessary elements that you have or you produce or you're collecting, they will show up here on this left side, and that's your sort of inventory, current inventory. Yeah, so you have to look at those to see what you have right now produced and what you can sell and what you have basically. If you click here on the settings, you can create a new town, so that will destroy the current town. You can change the servers, that also will destroy the current town. You can choose your graphic quality here. If you're on a phone or on a cheap tablet or something, I recommend here that you just lower your quality. And if you go to advanced, you have the sound effects, which is just the collecting and the watering, and those are nice to hear sometimes. People sometimes like it, sometimes they don't like it. So it's up to you, like a personal preference. Music, it can be quite annoying in the long run, so it's up to you. If you like the song, if you like the music, just turn it on. We'll just keep it here turned off, because it's easier to listen. It's easier to just have other music plugged in and just listen to what you want. Shadows affect the behavior also of your graphical handheld phone or tablet or whatever, so you can turn them off for better performance on the game. I don't know how to say this word, anti-aliasing or aliasing, I don't know how to say this, but anyway, this will smooth out your game a lot. So I keep it on because it just looks better, even though it might hinder the performance of your phone or tablet or computer, but still it makes it look a lot better. So I'll take one there. FPS counter just checks how many frames you can produce on your phone. So that means it's just like the quantity of frames your phone or computer is showing. So it's the lower the number, the poorer the quality. The higher the number, the more smooth and the more faster the game will appear. Status overlay, it's just like a little. It's a little. You can see it here behind on this building here. It just tells you. It's a visual cue indicator to see if the building is full or empty. In most cases, they are related to storage. If your building is full, then that means the bars on that little building that are grayed out right there, they should be red. And if they're green, then that means there's still some room left. So there's not too much room taken. So custom theme, we have now a custom theme still in effect, which is the winter one for Christmas. So this is supposed to be snow. As you can see, it really produces a lot of a lot of light, and it's hard on your eyes, it's hard on your screen. There's no contrast, so yeah, I don't like it very much. It's for a seasonal theme. It works for a little bit, but then it's just like too much on your eyes. So I rather have it here on the non-custom theme, and that will be easier on your eyes and easier to see what you're doing as well. All right, we're done with that. Let's just okay. So your town is 16 squares by 16 squares. Okay, so you can start here, you can see, and it ends here, and then it comes all along here and it finishes here. You cannot click outside of it, you cannot build outside of it. The only thing that connects to the outside of your town is with the truck, the trade depot. Okay, that's this thing here. There's a little truck. That's the truck you're gonna use to click on it to sell your goods. Okay, so right now we have 20 wheat. Yeah, so we can click sell. Okay, and they will leave to town to sell your items and give you some money that will show up here after a little bit. Okay, so currently we have $400, and yeah, so you will click to sell your items. All right, it says here like tap on sell button to make money from wheat. Okay, so basically this down here is your inventory, how much stuff you have of each, and if you want to sell gas or wood or wheat, you always have to sell 10 of it. In the beginning of the game, at least, you can only sell 10 of each. You cannot sell 5 wood, you cannot sell 8 wood, you have to sell 10 wood. So if you have 10 wood, you can sell it. If you don't have 10, you cannot sell it. If you have 10 wheat, you can sell 10 wheat. If you have 12 wheat, you have to sell 10 and make another 8 to make up for 10. Okay, so 3K here, $3,000 is your profit from selling wheat. So if I change here, wood would give me a profit of 2,500, and gasoline would give me a profit of $14,500 per sale, per 10. Okay, so if you sell this 4 times, because we have 40, then you would make 14,500 times 4. But you don't want to do that, and I'll explain later why. So you want to sell wheat right now for 1 gas. Okay, you can sell to Johannesburg or Kinshasa or Port Elizabeth, but they are much further away, and they will cost you more gas. So you don't want to do that. I don't really understand why there are these options, but they exist here for some reason. I guess in the future, maybe your city might be busy, or they might be I don't know. I don't understand why would you want to sell to further cities with these options for more gas, but they're here. Just ignore them for now. You want to sell to the closest for less gas and less time. Okay, so this sale will last me 45 seconds to complete, and it will cost me 1 gas. Okay, so this is what we want to do. Always go for the first one, at least for now, until we understand why these options even exist, because I don't know why. Unless you want to sell, I don't know, I have no idea. So yeah, we're going to click sell. As you can see, automatically the items come from the silo, which is your main storage, to the truck. They use 1 gas and they leave. There's a counter here on your top right hand corner that counts down the seconds, which is the timer that the truck takes to reach the city and sell your products, sell your items. And once that reaches 0, which completes 45 seconds, then your sale is complete. Your truck returns. So what's important here is not to forget to click your truck when it's coming back. You can see here. And after you click it, you receive your money. So more advanced goods, make more money by selling more advanced goods. Build a windmill and start milling flour from wood and wheat. Make money as fast as you can to reach gasoline production. Okay, got it. Right, so you can see here we had 24,500. We sold some wheat, so we made a little profit, okay, of 3,000. So yeah, basically this is the absolute basics. Absolute basics of the game. And you can see that the farmer here you have active goes along to water the crops that need water. Once it completes 3 water needed, it starts growing. It takes time to grow, in this case 15 seconds or 20 seconds. You see, it's producing wheat. Once the wheat is produced, then the farmer will collect it. You can see it's ready. Farmer will collect it and we'll take it to the silo. Here you can see that there's still room. There's a green bar, and you can see that there's 5 room left. So you have to pay attention in order not to stay behind in the game by selling early and keeping your storage empty. Because what happens is, if your storage is full, then your farmer will destroy the crops. If there's nowhere to take them, they will just be destroyed. So we can show you an example here. Let's wait a little bit. So I'll show you what happens and what to so just a quick explanation here. So this is where the gas gets storage. That's the fuel storage. This is a builder's house. It costs 20 per minute. You will have a builder always at hand. You should have a builder always at hand to just start building things you need. And you can increase the number of builders to build faster as long as you have resources for it. Okay, 18 out of 20. Okay. Woodshed. Woodshed stores wood. Okay, it only stores 10 wood. So in the beginning, yeah, it's okay. It's more than enough. But in the end game, you need more space to deal with this. With the increasing demand of inventory space. Okay, so this should complete 19. So you can see like there's a red exclamation mark right here that says, "Guy, the silo is full. If you don't sell or create a new silo to make more room for inventory, I have no space to put your wheat in." So you can see here what's going to happen is that the farmer destroys the wheat that he just collected. So basically this makes us lose money. Okay, so why do you need to sell? What's the objective here? The objective is every time you sell wheat or any product, it will give you stars. And you can see the stars here. You see 10 stars sold. Okay, the objective is 1,000 stars per day. And right now, this is our rank. This is what we have. We're currently in this position, 52,013. Because we just started the game, of course, and we have just like a test going. And the top 10 million, okay? 10 million stars. So your objective is to make just 1,000 stars per day. If you click here, you can see Town Star Daily Challenge. And you need to earn 1,000 stars to earn, well, in this case, 0 coins, but that's the objective. That's what you need to practice and complete the objective, so you know that you're fulfilling the game's objectives. So you can practice, and that's how you just move on to the other more serious objectives of the game. Right. Okay. So how do we expand from here? Okay, so we want to have more staff, more inventory, sell more, sell faster, to make more money, to build stars, or to sell inventory, and to make stars faster. So you're more efficient. Okay. So the trees are collected by lumberjacks. So if you don't have a lumberjack, you will have to get a lumberjack. So he collects trees and produces wood here that is stored in the woodshed. Wood is necessary for everything up until the end game. Okay? So rocks don't do anything. They're just obstacles in the way that when you have enough money, you will start removing them to create, to build other buildings. You can see that the cost here 40,000 to remove, so you only have 26, so that's a lot more than you can afford right now to remove them. So you just go around them. You ignore them for now. You don't need to spend your money doing any removal of things for now. So what else? You have these little marsh areas. You can see they're all around. and they give off passive water. So you want to have your crops around these areas, so you can have passive water to your crops. So for example, you can see that this one does not need any kind of watering right here, because it's connected, well, it's receiving passive water from this marsh and this pond. Okay, so basically it has enough water here to automatically be watered and automatically grows without extra water. This one, on the other hand, it only receives 2 water. Okay, so it receives passively from this pond and 1 from this marsh. So it's only 2, so it does not receive full water. So you have to have a little well, and this well is used to by the farmer to water the fields and to water your crops. So you can see that this one, after getting 3 water, it's already growing. The wells take time to replenish the water, so depending on the location of the well and the type of well, they will produce or the replenish water faster or slower. So you have to be careful with that. The storehouse is like what it says, it's a storehouse, but it stores like tier 2 items, produced items that are somewhat crafted after a few processes. Like they're not just produced by just collecting or harvesting. They need to be produced. They're not really fresh. They're not really fresh produce because it includes other products. But yeah, this storehouse is used to keep products that you produce that are tier 2 produce. Okay, all right. So this is taking a while to explain. It's a complex game, but we will start slowly expanding our town. Okay, so we're gonna sell a little bit more here. Okay, once we sell more, we're just gonna add one more wheat field here. Okay, so plantations, crops do not require the builder to build anything, but some buildings do. Some structures do. So you need to have available materials to make that happen. Okay, so that was 45 seconds. We can collect our cash. We have received more stars. So in this case, another 10 for selling more wheat, and that is it. So we got like 40,000, almost 40,000 now. Okay, so how do we expand this even more? Well, crops need to be located near bodies of water. We don't have a lake, so we're in the middle of the forest, so we have to use the little ponds we have. Okay, so we're going to use the ponds for now. There's more advanced things you can do. Like, for example, if you need money and you don't need a pond, you can remove it for 5,000, but not the price you pay, what you get in return. So for example, here you can also remove and the game will give you $250. Okay, but if you want to remove a tree, you have to pay 15,000. Okay, if you want to remove a marsh, you need to pay, you see the red number, you have to pay 5,000. Okay, if you need to remove a pond, the game will give you 5,000. So this can be used to your advantage as early money boost, so you can build your city faster, and then you can rebuild the ponds and your watering system strategy, because you already got some money in, so you can use that as to your advantage. Same thing as to selling gasoline. You can sell gas because you start with 40, so that's pretty good. I mean, 40 gas in the early game, it's very expensive. Not expensive, sorry. It's very it's your most expensive item to sell. As you can see here, wheat is just 3, wood is 2.5, and gas is 1,400. So you can use some of your gas to sell to advance in the game, but just remember that if you don't have gas, you cannot sell anything, and your town will basically die because you cannot pay your staff. Your staff will not work if you don't have any money here in the bank. We have almost 40k here. You can see that the money keeps reducing because I have to pay my staff. Builder costs $20 per minute, and the farmhouse, the farmer costs 10 per minute. So these costs are deducted from your bank basically every minute. See, there's a little counter here. You can see it maybe there. You see there's a little counter there that counts for a minute, 60 seconds. Every time that this little clock finishes, you get deducted the amount of money that your current workers are working. So that's the amount of your task force your workers are getting paid for. All right, so let's get into the next level here, which is building. Okay, the building menus. You have a lot of things here available to build. Some things are grayed out because either you don't have any money or enough to build, or you need certain conditions to build the building. Okay, so for example, the farmhouse here is available to build, you know, but if you go here on this little icon, the eye, it says materials needed 1 wood, labor costs 10. Invest in a farmhouse to bring another friendly farmer to your town. So it is available to build, and I can build it right there. What happens if I want to build here? You know, I want to keep my farmers away from the house, from this area here. So I'm gonna try to build. What's gonna happen? Okay, it's grayed out now. So what happens? There's conditions I must meet, which is must place near road. Okay, you always have to check the conditions of the building so you know where you can build them. Okay, so right now what we're gonna do is put another farmer there. Actually, we're gonna build another silo first, which has the same conditions. Store basic crops here, holds up to 20 items. It needs 5 wood to be built, and let's build because our storage is completely full all the time. So the builder got out of the house. He's going to get wood from the woodshed, and he's going to build a silo so we can store more wheat. Okay. Now, what can we do here is also build a lumberjack house. Okay, so the lumberjack house will build by itself. It doesn't need a builder, so this one is quite easy to do. So once the building is ready, you can see here, you can activate it by just clicking on it. So what does it do? The lumberjack will start just picking up wood and take it to the storage. Okay, so you will have a process where he will keep doing this non-stop. So you either have a way to start using your wood, or he's going to destroy the wood because there's nowhere to take it, and he will just destroy it when he reaches the road. So my recommendation is to have another shed for now, which you can build by here, just to help in the beginning with your management, your inventory management. I want to sell some more wheat. You can see here the progress of the construction site. It's 4 out of 5 wood done, so we will finish it now. Hello Caroline, how are you? I started the tutorial early, but that's okay. You can catch up the VOD later. But yeah, this is how it goes. So the silo's finished here. So as long as it's accessing the road or next to the road, it'll be available to use and possible to build. So you can see here. Let's collect some money. You can see here that these 2 wheat fields are ready to be picked up, and the farmer's taking too long now. You know, it's just one farmer, and there's not a lot of the speed itself is doing it is not very fast. Okay, so what we're gonna do is add another farmer here. We have another storage shed built because this one was full. Okay, so the lumberjack will keep getting wood to the sheds, and he will keep going. So yeah, early game, make sure you have storage and you have a way to start using it efficiently, so to speak, so you don't waste any resources. So the early game is very important, that you just sell often, use your resources efficiently, so you can not waste money, gasoline, and resources. So the way this goes is that you keep selling, but look, your gas is not coming from anywhere. So you keep selling and your gas is going down. So you have to be careful, because at some point you have to think, okay, I need to start making gas, producing gasoline, otherwise I'm going to run out and I cannot sell anything. Right. Okay, so how do we move on from this small little town that is just producing wheat to something bigger, to something more efficient, and to make more profit out of it? Well, we can increase the crops, and we're gonna go to second tier building, which is a windmill. Okay, so what does the windmill do? Click here on the information. Harness the power of the wind to grind your crops into craft ready ingredients. So by building a windmill, you can produce flour, you can produce sugar, and you can produce salt. So depending on your basic ingredient that you are producing, you can have these 3 different outcomes. So flour is produced by wheat, sugar is produced by sugarcane, and salt you have to harvest grime from the ponds if you are near the ocean, or you have to build like some little ponds where you can just like collect the salt and do the grime, and then yeah, that's I've never done salt much. I know a little bit about it, but yeah, it's basically like the others, but instead of producing flour or sugar, in this case wheat and sugarcane, you produce grime. So yeah, let's build a windmill. So again, what are the conditions to have or to build a windmill in this case? It needs to be near the road and ideally away from buildings, because buildings cause blockage to the wind. So it will slow down the production of the windmill, and that is not so good, especially in the beginning of the game. You want to have a windmill that is producing at least as fast as you can, because in the end game is going to be harder, because you're going to have more buildings, more trees, more this, more that causes blockage to your locations. So it's going to be very, very hard to have a windmill that produces fast. So in the beginning, yeah, you can use that to your advantage because you produce faster. So you can see I have actually a nice area here that I could have brought my my windmill on. So this is quite a good patch actually here, because I don't have to destroy anything and I can build more stuff here. So I'm just going to do that. I'm going to cancel this, and I'm going to go to the terrain area, and I'm going to choose building terrain. So you can see here I can take the road up to this section and take it up to here. Okay, road is pretty cheap. These dirt roads are pretty cheap, so I'm gonna bring it here. They're basically, they don't cost any resources, so they just cost dollars, and they're pretty cheap. So I'm gonna extend this road all the way up to there, because I will have more room to develop my city and my farm. Okay, the windmill is going to be far, but because it's on the road and it's fast production, it will be more optimal to build away from buildings and stuff like that. So let's go. Your money's running low. Okay, I think I spent too much, but that's okay. Okay, I got it. I'm used to having almost unlimited funds. So let's sell some, what we want to sell. Let's sell some of this. Again, it's okay. We still have enough funds. That was just like a game warning. So what we want to do also is increase the crops. Building another wheat field is not so expensive, so you can spend that money there as an investment. And you can see here that this wheat field is a little bit slower. Why? Because it's catching shade from this storehouse. Okay, but 1 minute is not too bad. Ideally you want them green. Here you can see that this one is terrible right now, because it's getting a lot of shade from this lumberjack house. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going actually to remove this field here. We're going to just increase there over there. This might be easier just to put one there. Okay. So Since the game is mostly about location, where you build your things, where you put your crops, it's important to pay attention to those things, because if you put your crops far away, and if you have your farmers are receiving orders to collect goods nearby, they will never go to your further away crops or locations. So you have to be very aware of that as long as there's stuff nearby and they have orders to do it, to pick up like this, for example, to harvest the wheat, they will not go to further locations. So if you want to have a location with wheat, you either have to decrease the number of items here close to town, to this segment of the game, or you have to increase the number of staff you have, so the new farmers will receive the order to go pick up crops in a more far location. Okay. So this all takes time. So you will have to be patient. There's no need to rush or to make a lot of decisions with your buildings and spending a lot of money, because at this point in the game you just need to make you need to be patient and let the game work for you. Okay, so you need to also be efficient with what you sell. You don't want to be selling cheap things that don't reward you enough dollars, because you're gonna run out of gasoline and not have enough money to build things. So you need to be efficient with what you sell. Right, so we have a mill here, windmill, sorry. So we need to activate it. You can see sleeping is inactive, is not being used. We need to go here to the craft button and choose what kind of product we need it to produce. In this case, since we're producing wheat, we need 5 wheat and 3 wood for each batch of flour. So we're going to do that. We're going to start making some flour. Automatically, the how do you call the guy from the windmill? Well, the worker from the windmill, I can't remember the name. He has a name, but I don't remember. Maybe the millman, I don't know. I don't know. Is going to pick up ingredients, in this case wheat, from the silos and take them to the mill. Once the mill is full and it has 5 wheat and 3 wood, then it will start producing flour. For the wood gets delivered automatically by the lumberjack. And if all your lumberjacks are busy doing something else, then the worker from the windmill will also go get some wood. The farmers will not get wood for your mills, and the farmers will not take wheat to your mill. Only the mill man will fill up your mill. So let's just wait a little bit, see how this goes. We don't have a lot of wheat, but we will increase production. So for those who don't know this tip, I removed some pawns, and the pawns being removed, they give you 5,000 per pond. Since I'm still early in the development of this town, I'm more in need of money than the pawns, so I just destroyed the pawns, to get some quick cash in order to develop my strategy faster. For example, I didn't have money to build a windmill. Now I have money to build another windmill, and I can produce faster, so I can sell faster, higher tier items, and make a slightly higher profit from the current system right now. So because my silos are full, so my windmill is working nonstop, and that means I'm producing more wheat than I can output flour. So that means I've reached a cap and a limit on my production with one windmill. So it's advantageous to make another windmill to increase my production of flour. In this case, I already have 6. So in a little bit, as soon as I have 10, I will sell flour, and you guys can see here, like selling wheat, it gives me 3,000 per 10 wheat, which is not amazing. But when I move here to the flour pays me 22,500 per 10. So that's a big increase in your how do you say, in your production, and then in your value of produce sold. So that's how you develop it, and slowly but surely that's how you progress with this. I'm dumping wheat, so I'll make another one. For the beginners, windmills have a pretty big passive range kind of situation, which affects them. So it's like 3 blocks for wind. They need to be very well spread apart, otherwise it hinders their production rate. In the beginning, you have a lot of space, so you can spread out a little bit. As long as you have road, you can just spread out, sprawl out. You can see here it's in yellow because there's buildings nearby. If they would be isolated and nothing around them for 3 squares, then they would be in the green and producing a lot faster. In yellow, it's still pretty good. I guess what I can do, or could do, is just get to the point that I start building gas. So that way, whoever's watching this can follow the guide up until the gas production. So with gas production, you need power, you need energy. And the only way to get energy is to get wind turbines. You can have oil pumps that will produce crude oil, and crude oil is necessary to make gas in the refinery. The refinery you can see here, it's grayed out because it needs to be near a paved road. So you need to have paved road, and you need to be you have to have enough money. So you can see here, you can produce gas, but you need crude oil. First you make petroleum, and then you make gasoline. Don't worry about jet fuel because it's not being used right at the moment. Everything fuel-wise will be stored in the fuel storage, which you already have since the beginning of the game. It gave you one for free. And so what you need also is the wind turbine. So you need one of these. This will produce energy. It has the same situation as the windmill. It will produce fast if it's far away from any buildings. So the wind is not affected the production is not affected. So you might want to consider extending road somewhere, or putting just one sliver of road somewhere, and then build it there so it produces faster. It's actually more productive to have just 1 or 2 sprawled out and producing, because they will produce very fast, and they will be very helpful in the beginning if they are just producing fast. So in terms of investment, cost-wise, we're talking about refinery usually costs 10, if I'm not mistaken. Where is it? Refinery costs 15,000. So yes, we can afford it. And the wind turbines cost 2. So yeah, we can afford it. We also need a worker, because the worker is the one specialized worker that will get the energy from the wind turbine and takes it to the warehouse. So we also need a warehouse. So that's another piece of investment we need. You want to build up your income a little bit more. So you want to have a little bit more dollars in order to invest and build everything, because, well, first of all, it does take time. The production rate is slow, so you need to have money coming in so your workers don't run out of money. If you run out of money and your workers stop receiving, then your town is not technically dead, but it's a little bit hard to come back from. If you happen to come across a situation like that where you run out of money here, or dollars to pay your workers, what you need to do is, for example, sell a windmill. That gives you back 3,750. Or if you have ponds available, sell the ponds. And that way you can extend a little bit more your time, but only do it in case of an emergency, or if you're practiced enough that you know that you're gonna make it, and you're gonna be able to make a sell pretty quickly. One extra thing that we can do here is our wood sheds are both empty, because we have 3 windmills and we only have 1 lumberjack. So the production rate is kind of falling behind a little bit because we don't have wood and we only have 1 lumberjack. So the correct step here is to build another lumberjack house. And how do we do that? Or where do we do that? I'm gonna create another road here. If you want to really get into a really advanced play style, before you do any building, you would have a plan already. You would know, before you choose your town, you should already know where everything goes late game. This is the ideal step you would have to do in case of really end game kind of builds. But if you're just starting and you don't know exactly how the game works, just take it slow, step by step. And it doesn't matter if it looks janky or not really well organized, or it doesn't matter, because in the end, what matters is you have enough of this, you're producing enough of that, you're selling, you're making money, and you're going into gasoline production phase. That's what matters. But for now, the fun part is this early stages of building the town. That is the most fun part you're gonna have in Townstar, in my opinion. To expand this, so I have 2 lines here. One can be for road and one can be for building. Actually, we're close to the pond, so we might do some more farmland here, so like more wheat fields, because we're doing just wheat right now. So we can do wheat fields all around here. Maybe take one of these ponds Yeah, so we're closer to the pond itself, not pond, sorry, marshes. We remove a couple of marshes here. That way we're closer to the pond. The closer you are to the pond, the more passive water you will get. And if it's at least minimum 2 spaces or 2 ponds together, they will give off 3 water passively, and so 3 to 1 water passively around it. So if it's just 1, it just gives you 2 and 1 respectively. So it's just like 2 and 1 water passive distance. If it's 2 or more ponds that are connected together, then they will give you more passive water. 3 to 1. So 3 to 1. Up until here, I would have water, passive water from this pond. So the wheat is being affected by that shade, but this one will be likely will be green. Oh, yellow. Okay. Put some road here and here. This is not very efficient paths for the workers to do. The faster they walk, the faster they reach the building that they need, the faster your production rate will be, because everything just takes time. And if you reduce the time, then you will increase the production. All right, so that's the one of the biggest secrets is logistics and speed of production. So for example, I have 2 farmers now sleeping, and you go like, oh, come on, lazy farmers, why are you sleeping? Why you're not working? I have stuff to do. Like, okay, the 4 plantations that we have here, they're all still building, they're all still producing. So they don't have anything to do. So they're not being optimized, are they? So they need to be working, they be out on the street and working in the farms. So what do? Well, we give them more work. Sometimes it's the other way around. You have so much work that they don't even go to the plantations you need them to go because they have too much stuff to do. So what are we doing here is waiting to sell, waiting for your balance to increase, and then carrying on slowly with the developments that you want, with the production that you want. Okay, so sometimes you don't need much, you just need 1 or 2 crops that produce really fast, and then your farmers will always be busy and producing. But in this case, I wanted to show you more like a showcase of where to put your crops and how to go about on producing and just getting stuff done. So a good idea for me is also like getting rid of this marsh here, and getting rid of this marsh here, and for example making a big pond, like 1 pond there, and then increasing my production here for wheat here and wheat here. Okay, so all of these would be watered automatically, not just these 2, and this one needs to be watered by hand. So that way we don't have the need of a well that that kind of slows down our production, because if it needs water, that means the farmer needs to go spend time getting water, watering the crop, and then turning it back, so that slows down the production a lot. So if it's automatic production watering system, then that's the ideal thing you want to do. You want to focus always on having the least amount of crops to be watered, to having manual water by the farmers. You want to always focus on that, on automatic crop watering. So the reason I'm not making a pond here yet, it's because a pond is very expensive, especially for early game. So you want to use the ponds that you have, but it does slow down your production rate because they are too far. So if they're far, and especially not having a road there, the production rate will decrease a lot because it takes too long to walk from one place to the other. So from where you have your buildings to the production site, to the farm itself, like where the wheat is. You see here, as soon as they get off the road, they get super slow. Okay, so what I want to do is keep it as close to town as possible, at least for the time being. When you expand, then that's another story, but in the beginning you want to have it fast. So what am I going to do here to increase this production site over here is I'm actually going to remove this marsh, but I'm also going to remove these ponds that will give me 5A back. So I want to build a pond there that costs me 20. So I'm gonna remove 1, 2, 3, and let's do here 4. So now I'll go to the construction area, I'll go to terrain, and I'll build a pond. A pond gets built by filling it up with water. And if it's next to an existing pond, it receives passive water. So it doesn't have to be built from scratch, from 0 to 10. If you build it right in the middle of nowhere, like here, for example, it will need 10 water to be built. If it's next to an existing pond, it gets passive water, like the crops, like everything else, and then it just needs to be filled up by a builder. So the builder is going one by one, filling it, as you can see here. Once he's done, then he'll start building, it will start giving off more passive water, and you will see that this crop here, for example, will be automatically watered because it expands the radius of passive water. So this silo is taking a long time to build because, with 3 different windmills that need 3 wood each, and with just 2 lumberjacks, they don't go fast enough to go like, okay, there's enough wood to build this. So as you can see, the wood sheds are empty. So the worker went to the wood sheds, used all the wood there, and that's it. There's no more wood. So how do you continue that building? By having excess production of wood. And in this case, we don't have excess production because all of it is being used on the windmills. And there's already one there empty. So the priority goes, lumberjack gets wood, windmills need wood, so they go to the windmill, all right? So what do you do if you want to keep building the silo and not, delaying too much your constructions? So you have two options. Either you build another lumberjack house, so you increase the rate at that you are, in this case, producing wood or gathering wood, or you stop production on one of the windmills. Okay, if you stop production on one of the windmills, then there is no requirement for wood on that windmill, and that will lower the requirements of wood that you have at the moment. Because we are still in the growth phase of the game, of the planning, we will not stop production. I want to expand. So how do you expand? Well, you build another house. You will see that I didn't stop production in the windmills. This one's almost full. We just finished the pond. So you see this one here that requires water? As soon as I open this pond, there, it gets watered automatically, okay? So that's what the two ponds together do, instead of just having one. We are very, very close to starting the gasoline phase. We could have started earlier. This is just like a slow process to show you where to go and how to do. As a side note, we just started, and this is very, very easy gameplay so far, nothing complicated, and we are almost at our daily objective of 660. Well, in this case, we have 660, we need 1,000 stars. So we passed 50% of the daily requirement. So as you can see, the objectives are fairly simple and very easy to get. So if you're wanting to push your builds to produce at least 1,000 stars a day, it's very easy to do. So it's very accessible and very easy to do. So as you can see, this silo kind of broke my my production there and increased it to 3 minutes. So that's not ideal, but it is a more concentrated build here, so it's okay. We don't really need to be fast at the moment. We just need to keep it going and keep building, So this, let's see how this one goes. If this one is already at red as well, then I'll put another windmill here in the middle or something, because well, if it's broken the production, then it doesn't matter, we can increase it. So here we can see that just by increasing one lumberjack from what I had before, my sheds now are, well, not full, but I have stock, I have inventories left. So also, because my production rate on this mill increased, and the requirement for wood dropped a little bit in terms of like percentage per minute. So yeah, you can see that this mill also reduced in production time because I put this silo here, which is too close to them, and it affects their production rate. Try to keep them a little bit further away. At the moment we have 7 flour. We need 10, so we need 3 more. I have 2 on the way because you can see here the windmills are working. So we have 2 on the way. We need 1 more fill for this one, and then we'll have 3. So I can already start programming what I'm going to buy and where I'm going to put things next in order to advance a little bit more with the production. So you can see it's slow, but it is going, and this is not absolutely optimal what I'm doing, you know. So it is possible to do things fast, a little bit faster actually, but there's no need. You can still have an efficient farm, still making mistakes, so it's fine. There's no perfect build. 9 flour. This one's about to finish. Okay, so let's think about, the production's going fine. Pretty much everything's good. I have wheat on the silos, enough stock, so I'm not running out anytime soon. Production is going steady. I have wood, probably too much wood, but that's a good thing because you always want to have close to cap or increasing your wood cap, because in the beginning you're always going to be building stuff, expanding, so you need wood for every single building until, you know, like really late stage game. So you always need wood. So if you're going deep and fast, the more storage you have in the beginning, the better, because otherwise you're just gonna waste wood and you slows down your progression. But if you're doing a slow start, it takes more time. That's it. You don't need to produce a lot of wood. You don't need to have a lot of lumberjacks just wasting wood. You just need to go a little bit slower. You're going fast. More lumberjacks, more storage, faster deployment of buildings. That's how I see it. So we want wind turbine. Okay, wind turbines. So turbines also get affected by buildings like the windmills. So I want to have them producing fast. Okay, I'll start with the storage first. Well, actually, I'll start with the road. I'll start with the road right there. We'll build a storage house here, well, a warehouse. It is far, but it's okay because the production doesn't need to be fast with the energy. At some point, we're gonna have to start clearing some of these trees, but I don't want to spend money on that now. As you can see, I have 20 wood, so this is good when you need to build stuff. So you're always using wood for buildings. So the warehouse is where your energy will be stored. You got a worker. He's probably gonna just stay inside, nothing to do, because there is no work for him right now until the wind turbine is completed. this was a mistake. I shouldn't have taken that tree out there. It's just because I have no road, and now I have to take this out, and I still have it with wood. So that tree over there was a bad option. I should have taken this one out. So now I'll have to wait, because what I want to do is I need to build a refinery and an oil pump, and I need road, and I will not have road there. I could have taken this tree out. That was a mistake. I am so pay attention so you don't make that mistake like I did just now, and you can't walk it back. So with this new sale, it's enough for us to build a refinery here, and that would be the gas phase reached. So after that, yeah, it's all about management and and expanding gradually, slowly into whatever build you want. Obviously, this is nothing super optimized or efficient. I mean, it's the minimum you can do to get it going, to get a good start, a simple, efficient start. Could be more efficient, could always be more efficient, could always be different, but this is just a showcase to how it works and how it some of the mistakes you should avoid, and some of the rules the game itself has. And yeah, we can start doing gas. One more sale, and we can increase another windmill here. We have one producing fast-ish, but around 50%. But we can push better numbers if we could just use quantity instead of speed. Our silos, our warehouse is full. We have plenty of energy. So as soon as the refinery is finished, we'll just basically hit the ground running, because we also have plenty of oil, crude oil. Okay, so time for the refinery. We still have about 10k left. Yeah, remember, when you do the building, any kind of building or any kind of major change, make sure you have enough money to go off of, to pay your builders and to keep your town going until your next sell. Because if you don't, or if it's really narrow margin, then you might be in trouble. You need to be very careful with it, because just one simple mistake like that can really slow you down a lot. So yeah, I think that's the basic stuff. We'll just start using crude oil to produce petroleum. When we have petroleum, we produce gasoline. The usual standard is 2 refineries going. When one is producing petroleum and the other one is using the petroleum you produced on the first one to produce gasoline. So I'll stop just when I produce my first gasoline tank. Okay, build the water facility here. I forgot we need the water facility to produce industrial water, and they produces industrial water is a water drum. We've already produced 1 petroleum tank, so we're underway to produce petroleum, and then we will, as soon as we have another one, I think it requires 2 if I'm not mistaken, or no, it's just 1. 1 petroleum, 1 gas. It just needs more power, needs more energy. Gasoline requires about 6 energy. But yeah, that's basically it. We're just gonna do 1 more. So we'll wait for the energy. We'll wait for this petroleum barrel get done, and then we'll do 1 gasoline, and then we're going off for a break. So when you're managing resources very closely, you have to be careful, because what happens is that they automatically go back and forth and fill in other elements that you need, right? So if you stop it while the crude is already there, the water is already there, the energy is already there, if you stop it and then you change to produce something else, well, the factories like the refinery will not hold your inventory. So when you switch to gasoline, whatever inventory you had there, it's lost. So if you're struggling with items, with inventory, be very careful when you do the switches. And that means also like for windmills and stuff like that. If you switch the task, then you will lose whatever you had in it. So yeah, be careful with that, because it can cost you and slow you down a lot at some points in the game. If you are struggling or if you're pushing really high efficiency, losing 6 energy. If you're switching from one refinery and you want to produce petroleum, losing 6 energy, it can take a long time to recover. Because you can see right now we are at 12, yeah, that's fine. But if you're producing like 3, 4, 5, and then you don't have any energy left, and then you need to switch from gasoline to petroleum, and then you need the energy, and that gets destroyed when you switch the production item. So yeah, be careful with that. Okay, thank you so much, and yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.